So hello guys, hello everyone, and good evening guys. Good evening once again, and welcome back guys, once again to Rio Academy. So initially, I hope my voice is clear and you guys can see me quite clearly. So if there are initially any difficulties with the vision, with the audio, please let me know guys in the comment section. So a very good evening to all my friends who are simultaneously watching me on YouTube and also on the app. So good evening Shobha, good evening Neha. So thank you guys once again for joining us live in this session that we are conducting for all the aspirants who are preparing for PGCET MCA examination. So we have been on gap guys. It's been a few days that we haven't come up with any of this session. So there was some issues that we were dealing around with, but nonetheless, we have covered up a number of topics guys with respect to the mathematics subject for the PGCET MCA students. Today we are going to start up with our sessions relating to the coordinate geometry. That is the conics part. Yes, conics. So I hope in the previous classes, guys, you have gone through those classes that have been also uploaded on YouTube. And I hope that you haven't got any doubts or any suggestions. But if you do, please let us know, guys, in the comment section. And if you do like the videos, then hit the like button. All right. So initially, guys, to many among you who are watching this for the first time, watching me especially for the first time on YouTube, let me inform you that we at Rio Academy providing the services, career services, and training for the aspirants of PGCET for a large number of time now. So this is an experience, well and wonderfully developed experience, which I think we are going to use at the best of our ability in order to guide you. So do join us guys at Rio Academy. All the classes will be on an online basis. So this particularly is an online class. So those who want to join us on at Rio Academy, download the app guys, Rio app from Google Play Store. Join us at the WhatsApp group. Join us at the Telegram channel. The links have been given out in the description. You can find it there. So do join us and also join us daily live on the YouTube classes from today onwards with respect to the mathematics part of PGCET students. Okay, PGCET MC. All right, guys. Now coming back to the part that we are here to discuss about. So Vinay Raj, second PU classes, Vinay, this is not for the second PU, but second PU classes, guys, nonetheless, we also will be conducting on the particularly described time. So, Karthik, about the counseling, we are not really sure, sir, but it is very close, it is very near. But nonetheless, we are going to provide you with the notifications and the details whenever the counseling starts. Okay. So, today, guys, we are going to be dealing about with the topic of conic section, which I think particularly many of the students find it quite confusing. But nonetheless, guys, we are going to discuss about that. But before starting up with today's class, guys, let me inform you something regarding myself. So I am an engineer, guys. Professionally, I have been still an engineer. I am also an educator out of passion. So yes, I have been at the platform of Rio Academy. So it's been nearly about 7 years, or more than 6 years, I would say, that I have been accompanied competitive world of examinations, not just for the PGCET but also for the IBPS, UPSC, CAPS. So this experience is what we have developed around, and we are quite well aware of the strategies that we need to apply. That is why we are conducting the classes on. Okay. So now, guys, coming back to our topic, conics that we are going to start up today. See, guys, whenever it comes to the mathematics part, in with respect to the PGCET, MCA students especially, conics, coordinate geometry, and trigonometry, they are only for the MCA students. They are not for the MBA students. Of course, aptitude part for MCA students is completely different. There are certain topics which are common to both MBA and MCA students, but we are conducting classes separately for MBA and MCA. Okay? This particular topic, conics, is the second most important topic that you can come across in the geometry part of the syllabus that has been prescribed by KE for MCA students. Okay, now? So now about conics, guys. Before you move on with application of directly the formulas, I want you to understand that conics is one particular kind of topic that is on the basis of geometry. So you need to understand. You need to understand what the coordinates here are. You need to understand the features. You need to know the diagrams. Okay, only then you will be able to solve out the questions. Please don't back the formulas respectively independently for x-axis and y-axis. We are going to discuss that. Okay. So now guys, there is one particular topic known as trigonometry that we have already covered about. So basically trigonometry means study of triangles, study of three-sided figures. Now why is it that we basically go with three-sided figures? Because triangle is the basic closed structure. If you want a closed figure, triangle is the basic structure. Apart from that, if you come below, there will be two lines. It won't be a closed figure. Okay, basically you need three lines in order to form out a closed figure. Now in the part of conics, we are going to deal with the 3D part of this triangle itself. Suppose consider this triangle has a central axis here and you are rotating this triangle. Okay, sorry, you are revolving this triangle with respect to this axis. Then you are going to get out the 3D figure. That 3D figure is nothing but the lower part of this cone here that you are seeing. Okay, cone. I hope each and everyone among you has seen what an ice cream looks like. So what an ice cream looks like, and you have already tasted that. So this particular shape is known to be a cone. Here, this lower part, if you look at it in 2D, this is a triangle. Suppose you rotate that triangle with respect to the axis here, then it will form a 3D figure, which will lead to what? Which will lead to the lower form of the cone. Okay, in the same way as this triangle, you also consider it in the upward direction. Okay, there are two triangles that we consider. This is the lower triangle. In the same way, we consider another triangle on the upper side, and we once again rotate that by 360 degrees, so that we are going to get out a figure in 3 dimensions. And whenever you connect these both triangles, you are going to get out this particular cone. Okay, and now this topic conics refers to the study of this cone. Study of this cone. Now cone we study because it is a part of triangle. It has been developed from triangle. You may get this question: why study only cones? Why not a square, a cylinder? Okay, there are many different shapes, right? But we basically go out with cone because it is a three-dimensional modification of triangle. That is what we are learning. Now here guys, in this part of cone, you only need to know basically this is the extension line and this is known as nap. Okay, lower nap and upper. Now here what we are going to do, just like in trigonometry, how we studied out the triangle, here the 3D part of that triangle, the cone, we are going to study it out. How? By cutting it out. We are going to cut out this particular cone and we are going to study whatever it is that we are going to get. Now you may come across this particular question: what is the use of studying? Why are we cutting this? So basically, guys, in many part of physics, in many part of chemistry, especially in the atomic part, okay, the orbits and orbitals. I have heard that. Okay, in study of orbitals of astronomy, come across the application of the cones, conic sections that we are going to study about. Any of the mathematicians, let it be Apollonius, Archimedes, okay, these number of mathematicians have studied this conic section. That is what we are going to continue today. Okay, now. So now here, what we are going to do, this particular one, I have taken out the pictures guys because in order to save time, if I keep on drawing it, it is going to consume a lot of time. So hence we are just going to explain. Initially we are going to go through the basic student of what conics is, then we are going to continue about the different parts, different sections that we are going to obtain. Okay, so as you can see here guys, this is one particular cone. We are cutting out this particular cone in many different angles. Okay, this angle keeps on varying. Here it is completely parallel. So cutting out a cone in different angle, you are going to get different sections. Okay, if you look at here, you are initially first. Let us focus on this circle. Let us focus initially on the circle. What you are doing? Suppose this cone has an axis here. Centrally, a cone has an axis, and we are cutting out one section completely perpendicular. Okay, we are cutting out completely perpendicular to the axis, or you can say it is completely parallel to one of the base of the cone. Okay, then you are going to get out this particular section here, which is known to be a circle. Okay, this section here, cross section. If you look at it from the top view or bottom view, you are going to get out a circle. Alright, and when you just change out one of the particular angle, this angle guys, this angle is known to be solid angle. Okay, this angle is known to be solid angle. We are not going to go into further more details of what a solid angle is. That is not for your syllabus. Just sort of consideration I am saying this angle is known to be solid angle. Whenever you keep on changing your cutting section with respect to this angle, you are going to get this various different sections. First section here is circle. Then when you just take that section furthermore, here this section, this plane is parallel to one of the extension line. This plane is parallel to this line. Okay? This plane is parallel to extension line. Whenever a plane, you use that plane in order to cut out the section of a cone which is parallel to one of the extension line, then you are going to get out one particular, one fixed shape. That shape or that arc is known to be a parabola. This is the parabola. Okay? And then when you furthermore tilt this around, when you furthermore extend out the angle, so this is the first angle here, you are doing what? You are just inclining it here. Okay, then you are once again changing out the angle. The angle varies, guys. Like I said, the angle, we are not going to focus on the details of the angle here. Just it is more than enough if you know that you are changing out the angle. Okay, and furthermore here, as you can see, with respect to the base, the angle is very small. With respect to the base, the angle is very small. But with respect to this particular axis, the angle is quite large. This is the axis. The angle here is very large as compared to parabola. Okay, as compared to parabola. Parabola here, the angle will be very small. Suppose if it is 30 degrees, then this angle here will be particularly more than 30. Might be 60, 70 something, but it will be more than 30. When you increase the angle, you are going to get out finally one more section. One more section. Okay, this cross section is what we are considering. When you look at it from top, you are going to get out one particular shape. That shape is known to be an ellipse. Okay, and then once again, what we are going to do, we are going to completely take out one cutting plane parallel, completely parallel to the axis of the cone. First plane we have taken it perpendicular to the axis of the cone, that we have obtained it to be a circle, the cross section. Then in the next format, we are taking out one plane which is completely parallel to the axis of this particular cone. Then we are going to get out the cross section here. We are going to get out two cross sections. Okay, because as you can see, whenever you cut out with respect to the parallelly the axis of the cone, this cutting plane cuts out both the naps, both the lower nap and also the upper nap. So you are going to get out two different curves here, two different arcs. Okay, and these cross sections are known to be hyperbola. Okay, this is about hyperbola. Now these guys, this is the basics of what or how we are going to cut out the plane. Sorry, how we are going to cut out the cone with respect to various different angles. Now we are going to study furthermore about these sections here. Here in the case of PGCET MCA, we are going to focus about the sections that have been created. The features of these sections, what are the names, what are the characteristics, what are the different equations, and how to apply them in order to solve the problems. That is what we are going to look out furthermore. Okay, up till this guys, if you have doubts, if you have any question with respect to the Conics section, please ask. So Shobha, Dayanand, so there may be some disturbance, I can't be able to listen, so your voice is not clear. Okay, just a minute guys. Okay, I hope it is clear now. Okay. So now guys, we'll move on to the next part. Here in the next part guys, one of the most important feature that you can come across with respect to the conics section, with respect to the conics part is the eccentricity. Okay. Now the question comes, what do you mean by eccentricity? See guys, first of all, I'm going to take in one of the curve. Suppose I'm taking parabola. Okay, this is the shape of the parabola. Okay, this is the parabola that has been created here. Right? This is parabola. Now we are just taking out that curve. This is a parabola. Now initially, if we want to calculate something, if we want to study something, if we want to measure something, we need to have an origin. With respect to some point, we have to measure it. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತುವನ್ನ ನಾವು ಮೆಜರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಬಿಗಿನಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇರಲೇಬೇಕು. We need that fixed point. Suppose there is a man here at position A. Okay. So now if I ask you a question, how far is this man from some particular place? ಈ ಒಬ್ಬ ಮನುಷ್ಯ A ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ಎಷ್ಟು ದೂರದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾನು ಕೇಳಿದರೆ, what you will ask me, where is the other point? ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್, ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇರುವುದು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಬರುವುದು. Okay, so in order to measure something, we need to have a fixed point, and that is why we basically go with what is. We basically go with the origin in case of geometry. Correct? Origin refers to what? 0, 0. This is the starting point. With respect to this point, if there is any other point or any other curve, we can measure. Now, in the same case, in the part of conics, what we do, whenever we consider all the 4 different arcs, 4 different sections, we are going to use some points as fixed points in order to measure out the distances. In order to measure out the distances, we are going to use out some points as fixed points. Okay, so now here basically we are going to take out 2 different fixed points. 2 different fixed points. Why? Because in case of measurement, we basically need 2 different coordinates. One is the x and one is the y coordinate. If in case we want to have a 2D figure. Okay, here this parabola, this is a 2D figure. Each and every section that we are going to study here is a 2D figure. So in order to match up with that, we are going to be considering with 2 fixed points. One of the fixed point, we are going to take that one as focus. Okay, one of the fixed point, we are going to consider that one to be focus. So what is a focus, guys? Focus is basically nothing but a point that we have assumed, a point that we have assumed, a point that we have considered in order to measure the distances of this particular curve. Okay, and then this is about one measurement. It will be satisfying only one coordinate here. So another coordinate, we are going to take out that one as a fixed line here. Okay, another coordinate, another dimension here, we are going to use it out, and we are going to use that one as a fixed line, and this fixed line is known to be directrix. This particular fixed line is known to be a directrix. So basically, directrix is nothing but a line that we are using, we are assuming in order to measure the distance of this particular curve from this fixed line, and we are also going to take out another point known as focus in order to measure the distance of this curve from one particular line. Okay, so this guys is known to be focus and directrix. Now eccentricity, it is basically a ratio. Okay, eccentricity is nothing but basically a ratio. What ratio? Eccentricity is basically highlighted as small e. Eccentricity is given by small e. It is nothing but the ratio of distance of any one particular point. Suppose in case I am considering one point. Okay, I am taking one particular point here, point A. Okay, you can take it anywhere. I am just taking it here, point A. Now I want to know the coordinates of this particular point. Okay, we cannot take this into 2D ways. Okay, x and y axis we cannot take it here because that will be too much of a complication here. That is why we are going to use of focus and directrix. Now this particular point A, it is at some distance. Okay, it is at some distance. It is at some distance from this focus fixed point, and it is also at some distance from this fixed line, which is known to be directrix. Okay, so now this ratio, the ratio of distance of the point A from focus to the distance of this point A from the directrix. Okay, eccentricity is basically nothing but the ratio, guys. Ratio of what? Ratio of distances from focus to the ratio of, sorry, to the distance from the directrix. Okay, eccentricity. It is basically the ratio. It is nothing but the focal distance divided by this distance, perpendicular distance. We are going to take out the perpendicular distance. We are going to once again draw one perpendicular line. We are going to measure out this perpendicular distance, and then we are going to take out the ratio. This ratio is named to be eccentricity. Now, guys, the question comes: why eccentricity is important? Why not, directly go out with the coordinates, x coordinate and y coordinate? Because here section has been already defined. If we take out x-axis and y-axis, if we take out the rectangular coordinate system or Cartesian coordinate system, each and every point has to be specified. Correct? ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು x and y axis ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಸಾವಿರಾರು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಎಷ್ಟೆಷ್ಟಿವೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. A, it will have some reading, suppose 2,3. Then B, which is also beside A, you also need to specify that. Okay, in this particular curve the number of points we don't know. There are unlimited points here, infinite points, correct? So it will be difficult for us. That is the reason we basically go out with the eccentricity. Eccentricity, we are just going to take out the ratio and we are going to apply it wherever we want. We are not going to consider specifying each and every point. We are going to specify only the points that we are going to look for. Okay, this basically, guys, is eccentricity. Eccentricity is nothing but the ratio of distance from the focus of any considering point. ಯಾವುದೇ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ನ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಇಂದ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅದು ಮತ್ತೆ distance of that particular point from the fixed line. It is an imaginary line. Okay, assumed line. ಇದರಿಂದ ಎಷ್ಟು perpendicular distance ಇದೆ ಆ ರೇಷಿಯೋ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. Okay, this eccentricity is applicable, guys, not only for parabola, it is also applicable for all the four sections: hyperbola, ellipse, and also for circle. Okay, now, so this, guys, is the basic feature of what an eccentricity is about. Now here I have just highlighted where the focus or where the directrix of this respective or the particular conic section lies. Okay, so I am not included circle here. In circle I include modula because basically, guys, circle is nothing but a shape or a figure which has a fixed distance. Correct? This is circle. Okay, consider this to be a circle. It's turning out to be an ellipse, but nonetheless. So here what happens is, this will be the radius here. Okay, it will be fixed. This particular distance, radius is fixed. No need to calculate the directrix length here. Okay, directrix distance, because it will once again be too much complicated. Already radius fixed agine iruvudu. Idella reading same agine iruvudu. ಮತ್ತೆ directrix ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದರಿಂದ ಎಷ್ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, that will be too much of a complication. So we are not going to consider of the eccentricity. Okay, that is the reason we are not going to consider of eccentricity. So here, guys, basically eccentricity is 0 for a circle. For a circle, eccentricity is going out to be 0. Okay, now, because here this is what, this is the focus, the center point, and we are not going to take it out. Once more, directrix ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಊಟ ಮಾಡಿದೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕೇಳುವಾಗ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೇಳಬಹುದು. Okay, no need to go out for a lengthy directrix. Okay, now, so now, guys, these three different sections. Basically, this is what parabola is. So now I know, guys, I have not explained in detail what a parabola is and what the distance and all those features are. I'm going to come back for that. I'm just focusing on the eccentricity. This is the parabola, this is the shape, and this, guys, is nothing but the directrix, as I mentioned here. Okay, a fixed line, and here this is a fixed point, which is nothing but a focus. Okay, eccentricity here will turn out to be, suppose if I consider this particular point A. Okay, now eccentricity at this particular point A, E, is going to be equal to this particular distance divided by this perpendicular distance. Okay, so this line O, see, suppose I take this to be O and I'll take this to be B. Eccentricity is going to be OA divided by AB. OA divided by AB. Okay now. And then for this particular point, once again same, if you take that to be some other point, A dash B dash, OA dash divided by A dash B dash. Okay, it will be same. And here what happens, guys? Here in the case of a parabola, AO and AB, they'll both be same. In case of parabola, the distance of any particular point on the parabola ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೀವು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟಿನ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟಿನ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಸ್. You consider any point on parabola, the distance of any considered point on parabola from the focus and from the directrix will always be what is? It will always be same. Okay, it will always be same. OA and OB, they are one and the same. Suppose OA is 2, OB will also be 2. So on cancellation, you will get eccentricity to be 1. Okay, eccentricity of a parabola, guys, it will turn out to be 1. I hope you are able to understand, guys. If you have any doubts, please ask. No doubts is the right Kiri. Okay, now guys, coming back to the next part. So please consider, I'll upload the notes once again, guys. But just try to understand the concept here. Circle, okay, parabola, circle, ellipse, and this particularly is a hyperbola. And that is what I'm trying to explain here. Eccentricity. Now this here is an ellipse. Ellipse basically has two focuses, which is also known to be foci or foci. Ellipse ಗೆ ಎರಡು focus ಇರುತ್ತವೆ. Focus 1 and focus 2. Okay, and then it has basically two different axes here, two different axes. I'm going to explain you in detail what the axes are, what the basic features are. I'm just showing you what eccentricity is. Eccentricity of an ellipse. Now see here, guys, basically here what happens is eccentricity will always be less than 1. For an ellipse, eccentricity will always be less than 1. Why? See here, this is the point. I'll take this point to be A. This is the point O, and here this point will once again take to be B. Okay, now what is eccentricity? Is nothing but the ratio of OA divided by AB. OA upon AB. Now here in this case, guys, OA will always be lesser than OB. OA will always be lesser than OB. If you consider any point on ellipse, its distance from the focus will always be smaller or will always be lesser than the distance of this point from the directrix. Okay, and that is the reason eccentricity will always be less than 1. Because in the numerator, whenever you have a number which is smaller than the denominator, it will basically what? It will always be less than 1. It will always lie on the decimal format. Okay, that is the basic feature of an ellipse. Eccentricity for ellipse will always be less than 1. While as eccentricity for parabola, it will always be what? It will always be equal to 1. Okay, now coming back to the last section here. Last section, as you can see, is an hyperbola, and there are two curves here. Two curves for hyperbola. Why? Because we are taking out two different sections. Okay, the sections are two here. Whenever we take out a parallel cutting section parallel to the axis of the cone, it will cut both the lower nap and also the upper nap. And we are going to get out what? We are going to get out two different sections here, and those are the curves that have been represented. Okay, and once again here, guys, this point will be what? It will be the focus. This will be what? Directrix. Okay, and suppose you consider a point here A, and this you consider point B, and here what happens, guys, in case of hyperbola, eccentricity will always be greater than 1. In case of hyperbola, eccentricity will always be greater than 1. Why? Because this focal distance will always be greater than the perpendicular distance from the directrix. Okay, focus in the ಇರುವಂತಹ ಯಾವುದೇ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಇದೆ ಅದು ಪ್ರತಿಕ್ಷಣವು PA ಇಂದ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗಿನೇ ಇರುವುದು. Okay, that is the reason eccentricity will always be greater than 1. With respect to the analyzing part, guys, you have to once again understand, you have to create out an imaginary shape in your mind, only then you will be able to understand this one. But here in for your PGCET examination, we are not going to get out into the mechanics of this, we are just going to get out into the application part, the mathematical part. And for that, I think these conditions are more than enough. But then again, you have to analyze, you have to just understand these diagrams. Only then you will be able to solve out the questions with these. Okay? And here, guys, always remember, many of the students they get confused with respect to vertex, with respect to focus, with respect to directrix, and with respect to the x-axis or y-axis. Right? Yeah, I'll just clarify it here. See, this is the focus. This is the focus, and this is the directrix. This is the focus. This is the directrix. Sorry, where is it? Yeah? Okay. This is the directrix. Sorry, this is the directrix. Okay, this part. Directrix, it can lie along the axis or it may be on the axis also. Okay, directrix here this is y and y dash. Directrix, it may lie over the y-axis or it may lie at a distance from the y-axis. Basically, we take it at a distance from y-axis. Okay, because if you take it over the y-axis ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ calculations must be confusing ಆಗ್ತವೆ. You will not be able to understand the particular distance separately from its distance from y-axis. Okay, both the distances will be same. It might lead to confusion. That is the reason we separately take out the directrix separately. Okay, and vertex, guys, is nothing but the point. Vertex is nothing but the point where your curve cuts out the axis. The point where your curve cuts out the horizontal axis or the vertical axis, that point is known to be the vertex. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ವ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಸ್ ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡುವುದು ಆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಗೆ ವರ್ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Okay, that is the vertex. Okay, vertex. Directrix is completely different from y-axis or x-axis, and vertex is completely different from focus. Focus will be a reference point, vertex will be a intersection point, and intersection point. Basically, ellipse ಗೆ ಎರಡು vertices ಇರ್ತವೆ, ಎರಡು foci ಇರ್ತವೆ ಅಥವಾ foci. Hyperbola, this one too has two different vertices. Okay, here is another vertex. Vertices, two different foci, two different directrix. Okay, this is the basics, and remember these conditions in your examination. These conditions are asked a number of times. Okay, now next we are going to look at the features. What do you mean by lattice vector? What do you mean by focal chord? What do you mean by focus? Ordinates of focus ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಬರುವುದು ಏನು? ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ತುಂಬಾ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಹಾರಿಜಾಂಟಲಿ ಅರೇಂಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ವರ್ಟಿಕಲಿ ಅರೇಂಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತವೆ ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಈಗ ನಾವು ನೋಡೋಣ. We are going to look at that. But up till now, if you have doubts, guys, please let us know in the comment section. If you have any suggestions too, then too let us know in the comment section. Okay, I hope simultaneously those friends of mine who are watching me on the app also are able to understand. And now, guys, those guys who are watching on YouTube, do like the video if you are able to understand. Okay, now so now, guys, here this is just a typical picture that I have taken on just to let you know with reference to the directrix, the distance, focal distance, and its distance from the directrix. Okay, this is just a typical diagram. Just go through this diagram. See here I am going to consider out one more circle. I am going to consider out one more picture here, because that is circle which has not been included here. Okay, this is the circle. Basically, it has eccentricity 0 because we are not going to specify directrix and focus in case of circle. Here, this is a circle, and this point, this particular line here is known to be directrix, fixed line, and this is the fixed point, focus. Basically, we do not consider circle with reference to focus and directrix. Circle measurement ಗೆ focus ಮತ್ತೆ directrix ಅನ್ನು consider ಮಾಡುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ because the distance of any particular point from its center is always same, radius is always same. So calculations are already much more easier here. So it starts up with the ellipse here. Okay, this is ellipse. It has two different foci, two different focus here, one and one here it will be. We are going to study about that. Basically, they are trying to represent here the distance. Okay, ellipse, the distance of any particular point here from this focus and also from the directrix. Okay, it will do what? It will be completely different variable. As you can see, this distance is smaller than this particular distance, perpendicular distance, and eccentricity will always be what? It will always be less than 1. Why? Because numerator here, this is the numerator, focal distance, which is smaller than the perpendicular distance. Smaller number divided by bigger number will always be what? The value will always be less than 1. So eccentricity, guys, for ellipse will always be less than 1, and that is what they have specified here. 0.5 is just a typical representation. And then we are coming back to the parabola. The second curve here, pink curve or the purple curve that you can see here, is known to be parabola. In case of parabola, guys, this particular distance from focus and this particular distance from perpendicular will always be same. They are always equal to one another. And whenever the numerator and denominator are equal, eccentricity will be what? It will be 1, and hence the eccentricity of the parabola as represented here is nothing but 1. Then next, moving on furthermore, it comes to hyperbola, and as you can clearly see, guys, this particular focal distance, okay, distance of any particular point from the focus. Focus in the ಯಾವುದೇ point ಗೆ distance ಎಷ್ಟು ಇರುವುದು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ focal distance ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೇಳುವುದು. This distance is completely greater than the perpendicular distance. So numerator divided by denominator. Numerator is what? It is bigger than the denominator. So answer will definitely be what? It will be greater than 1 only. Okay, so always remember, guys, it is a eccentricity that specifies. Eccentricity for ellipse will be less than 1. Eccentricity for parabola will be equal to 1, and eccentricity for hyperbola will be greater than 1, while as eccentricity for circle will be equal to 0. Okay, I hope this one is clear. So now, guys, we are going to study about the features: principal axis, conjugate axis, lattice vector, focal chord, transverse axis. Then it comes to focus, then vertex, directrix. What are the coordinates? What are the equations? These are some of the important features that you need to know. That, guys, we are going to deal about in the next class. Okay, I think this much of basics is enough. Just analyze, just go through the class. We'll continue furthermore, guys, in the next session. In today's session, if you have any particular doubts, guys, do let me know. No doubts iddare comment section alli keli. Doubts eno illa sir? No doubt at all. They haven't understood anything you have said. If that is the case, then do let me know. They have understood something, sir. That is the case. Then do let me know. We have understood everything, sir. Even if that is the case, then do let me know, guys, in the comment section. So those friends of mine who are watching me on the app is Neha, Shobha, Ranjita. I hope my voice is clear and you are able to listen to what I have said. If you have doubts, guys, please ask. So with respect to the coordinate geometry, guys, with respect to the conic section, please don't mug up the formulas. Please don't byhead them. Just know the formulas and just analyze the method. Understand these concepts and just apply them. Okay, that is what we are going to do further. And now, guys, with respect to the previous classes, okay, we have got up a number of sessions, right? With respect to previous classes also, if you have doubts, you can ask us. If not, then that will be it for today, guys. Those guys who are watching me on YouTube, once again, guys, if you want to join up the Rio Academy, download up the app. Rio app from Google Play Store. Join us at the WhatsApp group. Join us at the Telegram channel. Let us know, guys, your comments in the comment section. And then once again, with respect to the preparations, have one standard and fixed preparation. Okay, follow any one methodology. I'm not saying that follow me only or follow one particular teacher or follow notes or follow something. If you choose one thing, please stick to that from beginning to end. Don't vary on. Okay, don't change your direction, because knowledge is very vast, guys. You have to make your sources very limited. If you keep on diving deep, you'll go in very deep. While as in your examination, that much of deepness is not at all needed. Shallowness, I think, is more than enough for the preparation of PGCET, not for PGCET alone, but for any of the examination. Okay, so that will be it, guys. That will be it for today. Thank you once again, guys, for joining me live on YouTube and also for watching me on the recorded basis later on. And thank you once again, guys, who have joined me on app. Thank you, Neha. Thank you, Shobha. Thank you, Ranjita. And I hope you haven't got any further doubts. Okay, thank you, Vinay and Karthik too, who have joined us. Be seeing you again, guys, in the next class with the continuation of this particular topic, Conics section. Up till then, have a great time, guys. Take care. Bye.